MXTV is proudly brought to you by InsureMyRide, great bike insurance cover at an affordable price. And Moto, quality oils for more than 150 years.
G'day everyone, Brendan here and welcome to MXTV. Unfortunately, Lee couldn't make it this week because he's busy training Josh Hill, but he'll be back next week. Now I'm looking forward to a cracker of a show, so let's get into it because on tonight's show I catch up with an MXTV favourite, Ryan Villapato's personal trainer, Aldon Baker. While I was in the USA, we sat down with YouTube sensation and AMA privateer, Derek Anderson. We'll give you some tips on how to repack your muffler. Lee will be taking the Ktm Sx Two-Stroke through its paces, and one of the MXTV family members will get a chance to win our biggest prize yet. Phew, all that to get through and more. In our first segment tonight is a great friend of MXTV, without doubt the best trainer in motocross history. Of course, it's Aldon Baker. Now, on my recent trip to the USA, I caught up with Aldon. Let's see what he had to say. Well, I'm with a good friend of the show, and everybody knows who he is, Aldon Baker. Al, welcome back to MXTV, mate.
Thanks, Brendan. It's always a pleasure to be back on your good show. I'm pumped, man. All good.
God. Aldon, first up, mate, congratulations, another championship. Have you got any room left on your walls?
There's always room, eh? It's been fantastic. Words can't even put into how much work goes into this and accomplishing these goals. They don't come easy. We'll try and soak it up as long as we can before you've got to jump back in and get going to prepare for next season again.
Adam Cinderella, mate, really lovely kid. How do you train a 16-year-old?
It's the first time ever that I've taken on someone so young, and it's exciting because I also want to learn a lot more. It's a new challenge, but he's a good kid. I feel he will learn quickly, and we'll go from there.
Well, that was the next one. You've seen the best of him riding, and as you said, this is a piece of clay that you're moulding. You don't have to break this down. Do you think that he's got what it takes?
He has, for sure. No, he's got the ingredients. And like you say, it's moulding it the right way. Sometimes, you almost have to learn the hard way to make the gains, and I'm trying to avoid that for him. But that's where it's such a fine line where, sometimes you've got to let him go down and kind of bite the bullet a bit and then rebound so that he's motivated to understand that all the other pieces of nutrition, cardio, strength, or how important that really is. It's just different, but like you say, he's a good kid and has plenty of good ingredients, so I'm excited about working with him.
You talk about plans. I interviewed Eli Tomac's father, and I said, 2 championships, there's a Pro Lights and a Pro Open. The 2 championships go to 2 trainers that are ex-mountain bike champions, world champions. What is it with you guys and training people? And he explained to me there's a process and so forth.
Yeah.
How does that work with mountain biking?
Well, I think it comes in with discipline. Our backgrounds, myself and John, required so much discipline to figure out your own body and keep pushing through those barriers. So I think a lot of it is installing a form of discipline and structure, and then obviously being around them so much. I think that's what sets us apart,
You guys set a goal, and it might be a 3 or 4 year plan, but there's no going off the highway, is there?
No, I mean, you've got to have a solid plan, and even though you adapt it as you go along, depending on results and where you're at, you've got to stick to as close as you can without letting the outside influences push in.
Last one that's topical at the moment, drugs.
Yeah.
Give us the lowdown on it, mate.
Well, I mean, it's sad because I take a lot of flack in the media, and I've taken it since Ricky days, and it bums me out that there's so much work that goes into that, and to be discredited by people that don't even know what's going on, that don't see behind the scenes, yeah, it gets a little tender, but in the big picture, it's a never-ending battle, and I think the sport needs to do something about it. We've spoken about it, and it is coming, but I believe the people that run the sport have to help out in that area. It's their business to provide and make sure that these guys are adhering, to the rules and are doing it right. So we've had lots of meetings about it, and it looks like for sure next year there's going to be some action there, which will be phenomenal. So I'm looking forward to that because they do need to get past that jump.
This is a unique sport. I think with bike riding there's a difference. If you take the drugs, then you're going to get that stamina, and it can build muscle, which really helps with bike riding. You've got to be fast in the first place to ride a bike. And is it really going to help you?
Well, that's the thing. I don't see the races at most are 40 minutes.
Yeah.
I mean, are you kidding me that you need something? If you aren't prepared for 40 minutes intense, then there's something wrong. Then also, that's not going to help a guy's technique or the way he approaches the racing or riding the bike. That's not going to happen. I think there's too many variables for that to make a massive difference, but I think it needs to be cleared up.
Thank you very much. It's been an absolute pleasure as always.
Thanks, Brendan. And as I say, man, love your show and keep doing the good work. Cheers.
Thanks, mate.
Hands-On Kawasaki Motorcycles has over 25 years of professional experience in the industry. We offer quality Kawasaki motorcycles, ATVs, mules and jet skis. From finance to insurance, Hands-On features state-of-the-art workshop facilities with highly trained and experienced factory-trained technicians. We have a vast range of accessories, and if it's Kawasaki, then we have it. Contact us now, and don't forget to mention MXTV for a great deal. Hands-On Kawasaki, everything Kawasaki. MXTV is proudly supported by KTM, Alpine Stars, Kawasaki and Pirelli.
This year on MXTV, you get a chance to win a Milwaukee prize pack every week. The prize pack comes with an M12 cordless heated jacket with 5 carbon fibre heating elements which actively warms the body's core areas and pockets. A job site radio that powers from either an M12 battery or a 240 volt main supply. A LED light that has a magnetic back for hands-free use. And last but not least is the PowerPort, a convenient charger for all your mobile equipment. And all you have to do is go to the MXTV Facebook page, like and share us, and you're in with a chance to win the fantastic prize pack from our good friends at Milwaukee.
Hey guys, it's Ryan Dungy. I just wanted to pass you on a little note to just make sure you go get yourself guys checked out. You know, I mean, cancer is a tough thing and it's tough to face. Obviously, if you hear the words you got cancer, but you know, if you get it checked out now, it could be the beginning more than the later stages. So get out there early, get it checked out, get it done, and get on with your life.
G'day guys, Darren Henderson here. On today's MXTV mechanical tip, we're going to talk about repacking a 4-stroke silencer. There's a lot of misconception about when you should repack your silencer. As a rule of thumb, 20 to 30 hours is probably quite good. If you're riding in really heavy conditions, a lot of sand and that sort of stuff, that can really generate a lot of heat, particularly in a modern silencer because of all the silencing inside with new noise restrictions and everything, your service intervals probably are a little bit shorter than what they used to be. The system we're going to use today to repack is Brendan's own KX250F system. It's got about 20 hours on it so far. All right, let's get into it and get this thing apart. Basic tools you may need. A vise always comes in handy, preferably with some soft jaws on it so you can get that bracket clamped in nice and tight. You'll generally want a rubber mallet. Some silencers are actually put together with hex head bolts and some silencers are actually put together with rivets as well. So obviously you'll need a drill and some rivets to put it back together if it's a riveted type. If it's a screw-in type, generally they're a Allen head. The threads on them aren't very deep, so you want good tools. Otherwise you'll be stripping them out, which we've all done before. With just about any silencer, what you'll find is you'll actually start pulling it apart from the front of the silencer, not the rear. So you'll be basically working from where the mid-pipe slides into the silencer. So what we do, we get all these bolts out, and then what we do is we need to manoeuvre it apart. So sometimes you'll need a mallet, sometimes you won't. Okay, so now we'll get the old packing off. So just a Stanley knife down through there. We've got the tape cut. Then obviously we need to check out the inside of it, just make sure that the internals are still okay. So what you'll have is you've got a core in there that the muffler packing wraps around. You want to make sure that core is still in great nick. Okay, so now we've got our packing that we're going to wrap around the silencer. It's in its own little bag so you don't have stuff flying everywhere, makes it a lot easier. Okay, so now what we're going to do, we're going to lay some tape out on the bench for when we actually wrap the packing around, just to hold it in place. Makes it a lot easier to assemble back into the can. It doesn't need to be high temp, it just needs to be good old-fashioned masking tape. Then we get our core. We'll just put another one down through the centre there, now that it's on, just for safekeeping. Now what we need to do is just get that inserted back inside the silencer. It helps to have something like this you can actually put down, so it gives yourself a bit of a guide. You can then line the two centres up, and it just makes life a lot easier. We just need to push that home, not forgetting our band here. So always good to start at the very bottom one thing, so have that band wrapped around. Okay guys, there we have it, a freshly repacked silencer. Probably the last thing you need to do, last thing I suggest, just a little bit of high temp silicone, just rub it around that edge there. It's not an essential, but certainly a good way to finish them off. Okay guys, just remember, noise does not equal power. A quieter silencer will keep your neighbours happy, keep more tracks opened, and you'll actually gain power from repacking your silencer.
Welcome back to MXTV, thanks to InsureMyRide. In our next segment, we catch up with AMA privateer Derek Anderson, whose video blogs have gone viral. The blogs are a behind-the-scenes look of him travelling the AMA motocross circuit. He's turned into a cult hero, so we thought we'd catch up with him and see what he had to say.
All right, and one last chance to focus in on one of the privateer riders doing it on his own. Our one to watch is 63 of Derek Anderson.
All right, well, here I am with Derek Anderson from Maine versus Moto. A lot of you guys will know it's a web video that Derek does every single round of the AMA Nationals out here for the outdoors. Derek, welcome to MXTV, mate.
Thank you very much for having me.
Derek, talk us through Man versus Moto. How did it start?
I had an awesome series I did last year called Driven to Ride, and then this year it wasn't going to happen, and you know, with a week before Hangtown, I knew I had to do something to try and keep my fan base going, keep the following going, and you know, we came up with the idea, the story and all that, and then we called it Man versus Moto and figured out a way how we were going to produce it, and that's kind of how it came about.
For the people out there that haven't watched it, it's a diary of every week that you go racing.
Week in and week out, me and my girlfriend travel in the Nationals, trying to make a name for ourselves, and you know, trying to get the results in the weekend to hopefully someday get a ride in a factory semi. Right now, it's just kind of the trials and tribulations of what we go through. My girlfriend films about 95% of everything. The other 5%, if she's in the motorhome getting ready and we're at a track, I'll maybe break out the camera and I'll do my own scenery shots and stuff like that.
Ready to go have some fun and practice?
I have a guy from MSR. He brings me my gear each weekend, and I give him the memory cards of what we did during the week. He takes the memory cards back to Corona, California, We have a guy down there named Dan Getter, and he edits it up for us and throws it on YouTube, and they take care of all that process.
Not only does your girlfriend film, she changes air filters, does graphics a whole lot, doesn't she?
It's more than to be expected from a girl. Instead of just saying, hey, I need you to point and shoot this, she's always asking, hey, what else can I do? And definitely no rock star about what we're doing. The only thing that is rock star about it is my pops. He helped me get this nice motorhome behind us. Other than that, I mean, we don't get to see our family week in and week out like a lot of the riders. We don't get to train, when we're driving, other people are training and we're sitting in a driver's seat. Just try and keep the bike running, keep everything clean, keep all the sponsors happy.
Talk us through, hopefully, some of your plans for next year.
I mean, don't take this the wrong way. To be honest with you, I don't want to do this again. I don't want to do man versus moto again. I mean, would rather be in a semi and just nice and show up. Everything's already there for me. All I have to do is go look at the track and then go back to the hotel and relax. That's the ultimate goal. But if we have to do it again, I would obviously love to do it. All the fans that have been following it, it's been great, and just to continue it would be awesome.
Have you been amazed at how many fans you actually have come across? Because I seem to be amazed each and every week. It seems to get bigger and bigger when we are filming. Are you really amazed at how big it's got?
Oh, absolutely. When we were just starting this out last year, we had an awesome following. We had producers and cameras and all kinds of stuff, and now we're just down to myself, my girlfriend, and one camera and a junky tripod, and to have the following that we have has been really amazing, and that's why it wouldn't hurt my feelings to continue it again next year.
Guys, you got to keep watching. 63, Derek Anderson out there on the 450 Cowie, killing it, mate. Well done. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
F1 Moto is an online retail store selling motorbike, ATV and PWC parts and accessories. Whether you're looking for general service, rebuild parts or increased performance, F1 Moto is a website for you. F1 Moto offers free shipping within Australia and the staff are available by phone to answer any questions you may have. So check them out at f1moto.com.au or call on 02 4681 9958.
MXTV is proudly supported by Suzuki, Bell Helmets, Yamaha, and SKF.
Lyndon Heffernan and the Academy of Off-Road Riding. Today we're looking at how to ride in sand, and there's only two really key points to remember that'll get you out of trouble, and that is to stand up and get your weight back and keep that throttle on. If you've got to wash off speed, it's really important to remember not to close the throttle right off. We need some throttle, even when you're trying to decelerate, to drive the back wheel into the sand and keep the front wheel light. So if you can remember those two key points of weight back and never chop the throttle off, you'll probably get through okay. Cornering in the sand is really difficult. The sand grabs your wheels and tries to pull the bike over. So it's really important to sit with your weight back, especially your head, and again, keep that throttle on, and we've got to lean into the turn, a little bit like road racing, where we lean with the bike. It's exactly opposite to riding on flat, hard terrain. So lean in, power on, and keep that head back, and that'll actually make it easier to ride around a sandy turn. Another feature that occurs in sand is whoop-de-doos. That's where the ground gets these big waves in it, and that can occur from four-wheel drives or motorcycle use. Now, riding through the whoops is critical that you've got your weight back. And you try to loft the front wheel on the top of the bumps as you go along. It's also really important, again, not to chop the throttle off. The reason why we don't chop the throttle off in sand is because that will put a lot of weight onto the front wheel. And if you combine that when you're coming over the crest of a whoop, that is going to drop the front wheel into the base of that whoop. From there, what can happen is the back can kick up or the front can tuck. So really important to just keep constant throttle and keep that front wheel light.
Welcome back to MXTV, thanks to Moto. Before we go to our next segment, our good friends at Link International is giving one lucky viewer a chance to win a $200 gift voucher for any one of their products. And believe me, they've got fantastic products and heaps of them. Now, all you have to do is go to the Link International Facebook page, like and share it, and you're in with a chance to win. Or go to the MXTV Facebook page for more information. Now this week, Lee's by himself again as he tests a 2014 Ktm Sx Two-Stroke. Let's see what he thinks.
We're here today testing the new 2014 Ktm 250 Two-Stroke. Essentially a bike that hasn't really changed much, but no need to change something that's already so sensational. Important to mention though, first of all, some new graphics, and last year they made the carby just that little bit smaller, just to try to bump up the torque and the bottom end power. But we should really mention, coming stock on this particular motorcycle, some very cool things. We've got some exceptionally good grips that come production on this, fat rental bars, some very cool looking black triple clamps, a shorty little muffler that looks almost like it's handmade. And KTM really take it to the next level with finer things such as the cool plastic frame guards that they put on. Even the fork protectors have got this nice little vented thing going on, and it comes stock with XL rims and nickel coated header pipe. That kind of stuff is what KTM are renowned for doing. Well, it's always a bit of a buzz for me to get back on a 250 two-stroke after my years of racing supercross and motocross on these things. So let's get out here and give it a little bit of a go. Let's see how this KTM stacks up. This thing inspires adrenaline. Nothing quite puts the power to the ground like a 250cc two-stroke. This is a lot of fun, a good chassis, it turns well, handles well, does everything nice. Up the front, we've got a nice wave disc on this thing, once again with a nice braided front disc line. It's working exceptionally well up there. No problems with the brakes, very nice and evenly balanced front to rear. The ergos on this machine are really nice, a very flat seat, just like most of the new generation motorcycles out there, allow you to move up and back on the seat depending on what you want. It's not too fat between your legs, but likewise, you've got a little bit of something to grip a hold of. You can spend minimal amounts of money into this and really get the horsepower up, get it handling exceptionally well. Cale Makem has proved this is an absolute weapon against the likes of the Serco Yamaha, Carlton Dry Honda teams, etc. They're coming from someone who's raced 250cc two-strokes throughout their career in supercross and motocross. They got to ride a lot of factory bikes. The only thing that I would do riding this bike today, I'd need to find a little bit more horsepower, not much, a great power plant straight out of the crate from this particular bike. Suspension-wise, the forks and the shock, nice and balanced, but I do need to get the front end, the fork sorted just a little bit. A little bit of revalving will get it set up a lot better for my weight, around that 84, 85 kilo mark. But for someone just a little bit lighter that wants to go and race up against those lights factory teams, or even if you want to go and race your local club events out there, this is a very, very competitive machine straight out of the crate. So overall, really enjoyed my time today on the KTM 250cc two-stroke. It's not for everyone. You're always going to have your four-stroke fans out there that like the really smooth power delivery, but likewise, there's always going to be the die-hard two-stroke fans out there. And if you're one of them, make sure you check this thing out. Definitely worth a look.
For all your motorcycle insurance needs, contact InsureMyRide at insuremyride.com.au. Comprehensive motorbike insurance from less than $1 a day.
Well, it really looked like the two-stroke brought back some memories for Lee there. And speaking of memories, you may remember last week we gave away a signed top by Ryan Villapoto. Now, we had so much response to the competition, I made a phone call to Ryan and he sent us down a pair of pants and a top signed by the man himself. All you have to do is go to the InsureMyRide Facebook page. The details are at the bottom of the screen there. Like and share their page and tell them why you want to win the RV gear. Now don't forget, go to the MXTV Facebook page for your chance to win a $200 gift voucher from Link International, and it's your last week to get a Milwaukee prize pack. How much more can we give away? Well, it's time to go now. Thanks very much for watching. We'll see you next week. Until then, hold it on! Bye. All right, let's go.
I've got to say, nothing quite gets the adrenaline up and pumping like a 250cc two-stroke.
I'm looking forward to a cracker of a show, so let's get into it because on this show...
But that's actually not too bad. We probably didn't need to do it.
Cheers.
Thanks, mate. You got to get going.
All right.
Take that off.
MXTV is proudly brought to you by InsureMyRide, great bike insurance cover at an affordable price. And Moto, quality oils for more than 150 years.